Hi there and welcome to Geek Out with Archer with me, Archer. So this isn't the next video that I wanted to upload to my channel. Firstly, as you can probably hear and you may hear throughout the video, I've kind of lost my voice, or I lost my voice 2 weeks ago actually, and it's still not returned to me properly. So if I sound a bit croaky, if my voice goes very high, that's why, no voice. But the next videos I wanted to make to upload to the channel were some vlogs that I've actually filmed. See, I've just got back from a holiday to Japan and I filmed all these great vlogs. Yes, I hope they're great. They better be great. I filmed vlogs while I was in Japan about various things I did while I was on holiday, and I really wanted to upload those, and those would be my next sort of videos to my channel. But here I am making a new video that is not trip vlogs to Japan, and it's not any of the other video ideas that I've had that I'm going to make. The reason I'm making this video is I've just watched Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4, and I really need to make a video about this episode because I'm still trying very hard to unpack what I just watched. Okay, so before I go any further with this video, spoilers for Season 8, Game of Thrones, Episode 4, and all episodes leading up to this. You've been warned. Okay, so I've never made a Game of Thrones video for the channel, I admit. I haven't made many videos for the channel at this point. More will come. But I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. I've been a fan of the show since Season 2, which is when I started watching. The show is my favourite on TV and the only show that I regularly watch outside of anime. I've never read the books, so all of my thoughts are on the show itself and the theories around the show and all of that. Now, I know that we are beyond the books now, and yes, the writing and various things in the show have taken a downturn since we've left the books, but it was never to a point where it impacted on my ability to enjoy and watch the show. Even the episode in Season 7, Beyond the Wall, it's the dumbest episode. It really is, and it bugs the life out of me. But even though it was stupid, it never ruined how much I enjoyed the show. So I think you can see where I'm going with Season 8, Episode 4 here. I'm not going to say it's made me hate the show, and yeah, I'm still going to watch the last 2 episodes and probably enjoy them. I hope I'm going to enjoy them. But it wasn't a good episode at all. And it's not so much the events that happen in it. I mean, I have seen people raped and murdered and beheaded and turned into dead zombie people and all this horrible stuff. And I still watched and enjoyed the show. This episode, it's not the events that take place, it's the actions leading up to these events. I mean, I was going to make like a list, a bullet point list, and go through it, and I just can't because I'm genuinely so annoyed with this episode. Okay, so before I go any further, I'm going to get out what was really good about the episode. I really liked the start of the episode. The whole thing of burning the bodies of the people that died at the Battle of Winterfell was a really touching moment. It was really touching seeing like Daenerys over Jorah's body because he was her best friend. He was somebody that had been there since the start of her journey, and I think it is a great loss for her to have lost him. And you know, Sansa with Theon's body, again, he was there with Sansa when she was at her absolute lowest, when Ramsay was just constantly abusing her. So I think it was really sad for her to lose somebody that knew what she had been through and had been through something similar, because let's face it, Ramsay was not nice to Theon either. So yeah, the start of the episode is a good start actually. And then you have the party and everyone's chilling, and it's a nice opening to the episode. That's what I'm going to say about it. It's a nice opening. All the characters that we like are there. It's a very nice episode. See, there's my voice going. But it's a very nice episode. Opening. I'm going to stress that because it quickly deviates from that. So then basically we get everyone like hooking up, and my sister said it read, or watched I guess, more like a young adult book, or more like fanfic about a young adult book in which all the ships come true. We have Jaime and Brienne together, which, yes, thank you. Gendry proposes to Arya. We even have like Sansa and the Hound reconnecting because they were quite close in earlier seasons. It was like what you wanted to see. It was like fan service. That's what the start of the episode was. It was fan service. But from there, God, it goes downhill so badly. And I'm going to get this out there. I'm not blaming any of the actors for it going downhill. The actors are still the amazing actors that we've seen throughout the series. They're still giving it their all, and they're still playing these characters really convincingly. The problem is the source material and stuff they must be being given, because almost every character acts horribly out of character this episode. Like, I could try and do it chronologically on all the things that I didn't like, but I'm just going to kind of roll with this. If you're watching my other videos, I kind of just roll with stuff. It's just like mind vomit. You know what? I genuinely actually don't know where to start. There is so much about this episode that I could talk about. So I'm just gonna dive right in. The first thing that really bugged the life out of me in this episode was Jon about to reveal to Sansa and Arya that he is not Jon Snow, Ned Stark's bastard. He is in fact Aegon Targaryen, the legitimate son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. Now this should be a huge character moment, not just for Jon, but for his siblings as well. Because Jon has been raised as the older brother of Arya and Sansa. Arya especially has always treated him as brother. Sansa didn't. Sansa kind of, I think, took after her mother a little bit in treating Jon like an outcast. But Arya always treated him like her brother in the way that she treated Robb and Bran and Rickon. So this was a huge moment, and Daenerys had begged him not to tell them, but from Jon's point of view, I can see why he would tell them. I have a sister. I tell her very important things about me. It's a sibling thing, especially when you're very close siblings. So, yeah, he's been separated from his family for seasons. They're finally all together. He wants to tell them this. And I thought the build-up to it was very good. With them confirming that he is their brother no matter what. He's not a half-brother or anything. He is their brother, and I liked that. And then comes the reveal. And not only does Jon himself not do it, he defaults to Bran to give the exposition, but the camera then cuts away and we don't actually get to see how Arya and Sansa take it. And I think I was doing the audience a huge disservice. This is a big deal. This is Jon revealing his true heritage to his family. And we've not really even seen Jon deal with it, but then to not see anybody deal with it, that would not have happened in an earlier season. It just wouldn't have. This is a huge deal because Jon is now the person with the most legitimate claim on the Iron Throne. And I really wanted to know what Arya and Sansa would say to that, how they would respond to that, how Jon himself would explain it to them. And we are robbed of that as the audience. And then we're kind of given the next time we see them, Arya is running off with the Hound, probably to go kill Cersei or something down south. Sansa is telling Tyrion after she just promised Jon that she wouldn't tell anyone. Like, the Starks are supposed to be our moral compass in Game of Thrones. They are the good guys. They are the noble people. Ned Stark dies in the first season because he is too noble, and now his kids, I get the feeling, aren't being that noble. Like, you've just told your brother you're not going to tell anyone, and then you tell people? That's not a very Stark thing to do, Sansa. So yeah, that just really bugged me. And from there on, it's kind of like a snowball downhill on how bad it gets. Like, the next major scene we get with Jon is him heading south and him telling Tormund to take Ghost north of the wall with him because that's where Ghost as a direwolf belongs. This is Ghost. This is Jon's loyal companion. Ghost has been north of the wall. He went north in season 2 when they all went north of the wall and he vanished for a couple of seasons. And then Jon was actually really happy to be reunited with him again. And not only does he tell Tormund to take Ghost north of the wall, we don't even get a goodbye scene with Jon and Ghost. He looks at Ghost, Ghost looks sad, we hear Ghost whimpering, and Jon gets on his horse. That's not Jon. Jon worships this dog. This is a companion of his that has been there just as much as Sam has. and we get a very good goodbye with Jon and Sam, but Jon and Ghost, nothing. Just, again, the audience is robbed of this very, very good character moment. And that's always been Game of Thrones' strength. The strength has never been the spectacle of Game of Thrones. The strength has been the characters. And last season and this season, especially this episode, is robbing us of these really, really good character moments. So another moment that made me jump out of my skin, scream, and then take a second and think, wait, what? Was Rhaegal's death. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. I thought 2 of the 3 dragons would die by the end of the series. I've been thinking that for a while. I was fully on that Jon was the son of Rhaegar for years. Probably, I think I've learned about that theory sometime between, I think, season 3 and season 4. And yeah, I've been on that bandwagon ever since. So I always had it in my head that Jon would ride Rhaegal, because it's named after his father, and that he would take the throne, I guess. I don't know, but I always had it in my head that Jon would ride Rhaegal, and that came true. Jon rode Rhaegal. But then I always assumed that Drogon would be the next to die, because I've always kind of thought that the way Game of Thrones was going was that Daenerys wouldn't be queen, but that she would die trying to take the throne. And with the whatever giant crossbow thing that Cersei's got that takes down dragons, the fact that that has been showing up in the opening sequence of this season, I knew that that would come back into play. I even mentioned it to my sister as we were watching this episode at the start. And I always thought it'd be Drogon, and that would kind of be how Daenerys died. That Drogon would get shot while she was flying on him, and that they would both fall to their deaths, and that would be the end of Daenerys and Drogon. And then Jon would take the Iron Throne with Ghost and Rhaegal at his side. Remember, Ghost. And then that would be the culmination of A Song of Ice and Fire. Because you have to remember that the title of Game of Thrones is only the title of the first book. The series of the books is actually called A Song of Ice and Fire. So with Jon taking the Iron Throne with both Stark and Targaryen blood, represented with both Rhaegal and Ghost, I thought that would be quite a nice capping off ending. I know Game of Thrones doesn't do happy endings, but it wouldn't be completely happy because Daenerys would have died, but Jon would get the Iron Throne. It'd be a bittersweet kind of thing. But no, Rhaegal's dead. Gone. He survives a fight with the Night King and zombie Viserion, but giant crossbows. And here's the thing, here's the real thing. Daenerys was flying on her dragons, so for Euron to have a clear shot at Rhaegal, Daenerys must have been able to see them. That's how it works. You can't get a straight shot at something without also being visible if the person is looking. And there was a fleet of ships there. Like, had nobody scouted Dragonstone? Hey, that's near King's Landing, and we kind of abandoned it for a bit. Maybe someone should go back and test the waters and check that we're safe. No, we're just going to go there. It's another really dumb move that kind of summed up Daenerys' story last season of dumb military tactics. But this is just stupid. Rhaegal gets shot down by like a dozen crossbows, and then when Drogon is right there, he manages to miss every single one. No, sorry, no, I'm not buying it. I'm genuinely not. And I'm sure there could be some great thing about like Rhaegal coming back because Cersei's like, is the dragon definitely dead? And Euron's like, oh yeah, I saw it hit the water. But Rhaegal took several of those bolts. He took one in the chest and a couple in the neck, so he's dead. He's not coming back. And if he does, that's an even bigger slap into the face to the audience. Drogon is the only dragon left. He manages to escape all of these bolts with Daenerys on his back. Euron then fires at the Unsullied ships, which just all get decimated. No major characters die. Grey Worm tells Missandei to get to a skiff, which I'm assuming would be a lifeboat, we never see her get into the skiff, and you would think at this point that the smartest thing for her to do actually would be to jump in the water like everyone else does. But no, I assume she gets into a lifeboat and gets picked up by Euron. But we don't see this. This happens all off screen. Again, we are robbed of these moments. We get this quite almost touching scene of Grey Worm on the beach with the other survivors looking for her and calling her name. And it's like, oh, Missandei might be dead. Like, I genuinely expected him to find her body at that point, and that she had died in the initial sort of destruction. But no. For some reason, for whatever reason, we get a shot of the ships and they are all destroyed by Euron's catapult, crossbow things, dragon killing things. And they're all destroyed. I didn't see any lifeboats, but apparently Euron went over to check. He didn't go and pick up these people that are all on the beach that you could just get because they're all they've just fought the dead and now they've been marched down here and now they've just been in the ocean after you attack them. No, we're going to leave them. We want that girl in the boat. That girl. Because Cersei knows that Missandei is like Bezzy mates with Daenerys and that this is going to be a big deal. She's seen Missandei with Daenerys like once at the meeting, I think, where they showed her the white. Like, God, this just nothing makes sense, and trying to get it to make sense hurts. So then they say, hey, well, we could go and completely destroy King's Landing, or we could get Cersei to surrender. Cersei, why would she surrender at this point? She has the better army because she has the Golden Company. You now have one dragon and half an army. Cersei is not going to surrender, and this whole plan is stupid. Completely stupid. And then Cersei's like, hey, I've got Missandei, you better surrender. And Daenerys is like, I'm not surrendering. So Cersei's like, cool, I'm going to kill Missandei. Now, I thought Missandei was actually going to get a really good send-off here. I thought she was going, when Cersei says, say your last words, and she shouts out Dracarys, I was like, yes, you go, Missandei. Tell her to burn them all, because at this point I don't care. And then I really thought Missandei was going to jump, to die on her own terms, and ignore people that have tried to capture her, and to show that she's strong. Because Missandei has actually been one of my favourite characters throughout the series. She is a kind, pure character. And I know they don't survive this game, but the Game of Thrones, but genuinely her, Grey Worm, Sam, Gilly, they're like the most innocent people in this show. And I just really wanted the four of them to just have a happy ending, just go off, live their lives, have kids, adopt kids, just be happy. But no, we're not allowed that. Missandei has to get her head cut off by Cersei. Why? Like, you robbed us of the moment of seeing her get captured. You robbed Missandei of what could have actually been a very defining moment of her dying on her own terms, and not the terms put forward by somebody that has her captured. I don't get it. And here's the thing, right? Rhaegal's death, Missandei's death, Jorah's death in the last episode all seem to be leading to the fact that Daenerys is going to be the Mad Queen, and that she's going to take after her father and be crazy, basically. Viserys wasn't a full shilling. It's been hinted at for a while that maybe Daenerys isn't, but it hasn't been hinted at with enough conviction. It's just kind of been there in case anybody wanted to do anything with it. Like, she gets angry a lot, she declares she's the queen a lot, she doesn't listen to sort of very good points and reason that people put forward. But she's not being full on crazy, yes, let's burn women and children like her dad. And I think with 2 episodes left, that's what's going to happen next episode. She's just going to burn King's Landing to the ground, and the payoff of her going mad isn't going to be there because the build-up to it hasn't been there. It has literally been this episode kind of cementing that she may go Mad Queen. And I know this is Game of Thrones, and in the past I would think, well, that's what I think, but clearly there are smarter people than me writing this, so maybe they're going to pull something out of the hat. I don't think they will. I really don't. Not after these last 2 episodes. I think Daenerys is going to go Mad Queen. Arya is probably going to kill her so that Jon can take the throne. I don't think Jon's going to end up on the throne. I don't think anyone is going to end up on the Iron Throne, just let Westeros become a democracy. God, I really don't care, and this is the most frustrating thing, because I love this show and I've invested so much in this show. But I kind of stopped caring after last week's episode when the Night King, the big bad, the threat that was the first thing we were introduced to in Season 1, Episode 1 with the White Walkers and the dead, was wiped out in one episode, leaving 3 episodes to deal with, as someone on Twitter put it, a pregnant woman and a pirate. Finding it very hard to care, Game of Thrones. I love you, finding it very hard to care. And then we have the show actually finishes off, or the episode finishes off on a really stupid moment in which Cersei has Daenerys and the Unsullied and Tyrion and all these people she hates right there in front of her. And she has all these archers and her giant crossbows of death. Just kill them. Just kill them right there in front of everyone. There you go. There's your usurper queen. Shoot her. Shoot her dead. But she doesn't. Why? Cersei has never shied away before of doing things or getting her hands dirty. She blew up the Sept of Baelor with like half the main cast in it. Cersei does not care about this sort of stuff, but in this episode, suddenly she's not going to do that for plot reasons, I guess. And that's all I've got at this point as a guess, because the showrunners are editing out or cutting away from things that we need to know and need to see, filling it with useless stuff, and just robbing us of what should be a satisfactory end to a great season. And I think some of the problems that I have with the last episode, and especially this episode, is I wasn't a big fan of Season 7. It had some great moments in it, but as a whole it left me feeling a bit not great. This season started off quite well. The second episode I actually thought was a brilliant episode. There wasn't the spectacle. There wasn't the stupid stuff that the showrunners put in, like zombie polar bears. There wasn't any of that rubbish. It got back to what Game of Thrones does well and had character moments. It was a very quiet, understated episode in which we had characters talking, characters that thought they were going to die in a few hours, talking and just being real people and discussing things and doing things that real people would do if they were in that situation. So I had a lot of hope for this season, and the Battle of Winterfell, while a brilliant, brilliant episode to watch, has a lot of issues in it for the continuity of the show itself. And this episode was just all over the place. It is like, we need to get Daenerys to be Mad Queen. Let's just do that this episode. Just do it. Mad Queen her. And I know I've seen a lot of things online that episode 5 is supposed to be this shocking one, but I'm beyond caring at this point. The final fight should have been with the dead. Next to the Night King, Cersei doesn't really seem like she should be a threat, but she is. She's killed more major characters than the Night King did. She's taken out one of the dragons. I really, really want the last 2 episodes to be good, because I just adore this show. But God, they're making the showrunners making this very, very difficult to love. They're just doing some really stupid stuff, and if they can't have it sorted out for these next episodes, which they won't because they're filmed, they're ready, I just don't think they're going to be that great. And it would do the show a huge disservice to have it go out with a whimper when it is arguably the biggest show to have ever been on TV. So yeah, if you have liked this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. I do have some more videos coming. My travel videos from Japan with just general weeb happenings in Japan, because I'm an anime fan, I'm a massive weeb, I'm not even going to deny that. And yeah, just if you want to see more videos like this, if you just want to see me just rant about Game of Thrones, by all means let me know in the comments and I will do more ranting videos, because I could genuinely do one for the Battle of Winterfell. I could do one for the episode that goes beyond the wall, at how stupid that episode is. But this episode just made me so angry I had to do a ranting video. And I did. With no voice. So yes. Thank you for watching and goodbye guys.